Hello, ladies and gentlemen, whoever can get to join us today on our wonderful podcast. And I am delighted that I have my youngest interviewee or podcast guest, Mr. James McCormick, who's 15 years old from Ballyclare in County Antrim. James, you're most welcome today.
I'm honoured. Being the youngest.
You are indeed the youngest and maybe the wisest.
Don't know about that.
You'll have lots of information for us today. James, as you know, how I find out about yourself is through your mum.
Yeah.
And she talks plenty about James. We've heard about James so many times. So I thought, what a perfect guest to have on, because this show was all about making a difference to people's lives, and hopefully by something that you may have to share today, that it may make a difference to someone else's life. So James, you're now 15 years old. You're sitting examinations.
Yeah.
You've had a bumpy few years.
Yeah.
And you had an eating disorder. Would you take us through that, how it started?
Yeah. So it was when I was in second year, maybe.
And what age were you then?
13. And I just got really upset with myself because some people made remarks and all.
And what sort of remarks do people make to you?
Just like the dumb stuff, like chubby and all, but like it really got to my head and it like took a toll on me, and I started seeing myself as only that, and it made me really self-conscious, so I started to cut down on food, and then it just spiraled.
So some person, as we say, you know, about the name calling, so someone one day called you chubby. There's chubby. And then it started to get in on you.
Yeah.
And so what did you want to become? Not chubby, skinny?
Yeah, I want to become really skinny.
You did? For people to like you, for you to like you?
For me, especially, yeah.
For yourself. So when you say you cut back on food, when did that become noticeable to your family that you had stopped eating?
I think it was when, like, I started losing a lot of weight, and you could tell on my face, and I looked very, like, tired, and my mum started to ask questions about it. But she didn't notice it at the start because she didn't think I would do anything like that. And it was just, I was losing loads of weight. I looked really tired, I had big eye bags and all, and then everyone started to notice.
And did the names still continue at school? Were you still called chubby?
The odd time maybe, but everyone would say it as a joke, but I took it to like heart.
Yeah. So I suppose you achieved your goal then, that the name calling stopped. But how are you feeling now that you'd lost the tiredness, the bags under your eyes, the knock-on effect that depriving your body from food was having?
I still didn't feel like it was enough.
So how did you achieve enough then? What was the next step?
To go lower, just not eat and drink more water, and then I made the dumb decision by starting to smoke cigarettes to help me and like get my hunger away. And
anything just to prevent yourself from eating. Well, how did you feel when you ate something?
I felt like guilty, and it made me feel sick. And like I felt so guilty, and I would cry, and I wouldn't eat all day until late at night. So, and then I felt guilty, and then I would go to bed and all, and just wake up and not eat again.
And how did this, apart from yourself, it had obviously a knock-on effect with your family?
Yeah.
Could you see that at the time, or was it, listen, this is my business, let me get on with it, it's everybody else's fault?
I think at that point, your mindset, you don't want help, you don't want anyone to know, you don't want like anyone else getting involved. And it was kind of almost like ruining my relationships with my family. Because I was a bad person. I was being horrible, because I was horrible about everyone else, because I was horrible about myself, and took a lot of effects on my mum, my sister, and my dad.
Yeah. But as you say, when you're in that place yourself of, it was all a spiraling effect. Someone called a name, you took it personally because you believed it to be true about yourself. You started to deprive yourself of food, you started to lose weight, you weren't skinny enough, so you just, right, I'm going to start smoking, I'm going to cut food out altogether. And then your mood drops even lower, or to talk about your vibrations and the self-loathing and the self-hate and the knock-on effect that it has then in the bigger circle. How did you manage then? Was there a reaching out for help that you realised I need help, or was it forced upon you?
It was more forced. It wasn't out of my own like interest because my mum took me to the doctors and they seen that I was losing lots of weight, so they sent me to the eating disorder clinic. And like I felt I was the only one because obviously everyone gets eating disorders, but I feel like it's more known for girls and boys.
Yeah.
So I just felt like I was the only one, and I felt so like trapped. And then when I went there, it felt even worse. And I was took there, and I was put in a meal plan and all, and it felt like the end of the world.
Yeah. Because did you think I'm going to get fat again?
Yeah, that was my biggest fear, gaining weight.
Yeah. So how long ago was that, James, that they put you on the eating plan?
Maybe not last summer, but the summer before.
And how have you been since that? Has it become easier to enjoy food?
I don't think about it really anymore. I'm a lot more confident in myself and who I am, and I don't feel I need to not eat to make myself feel better. So, although my mom would say like I'm not eating enough still, but like
You're so tall.
yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah.
So when you say you feel better, more confident about yourself, what did you start doing then for you to change that?
I'm not sure. I just started like thinking about. I was too busy thinking about what other people were thinking than myself, and then I just realized like there's no point to this, and then started watching this. I don't really remember her name, but she's like kind of talks about creating a new version of yourself if you don't like the old one.
Yeah.
And she's like around my age, maybe 19 or something, and it like helped a lot because like she was saying it in my terms and all, and like how I would take it in, and it helped a lot.
Yes. So like I could preach about positivity from morning to night, but to you, I'm an old woman.
No. No.
What does that old woman know about life? No. But yes, I get that there for someone to relate to your terms, to feel where you're coming from. And that's one of the, I say, the main reason for this too, that perhaps there is a parent listening to this today that has a child going through a similar circumstance, whether it's a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
Tell me this then, James, from the child's point of view, and I know you're a young man, but from the child's point of view, what would be the best advice to give to a parent who is dealing with someone in their family going through this?
Not to be as annoyed about it. You need to, not like annoyed, but so forward with it. You need to take it easy and like be there for them in like more of a caring way instead of getting frustrated and like scared. And
can you see that a parent, because I suppose especially a mother would just give birth to you,
yeah,
and mothers would do anything to keep you safe and protect you, and then perhaps what they see as love doesn't come across as love to yourself. So when you say in a more caring way,
I think my mum got like frustrated with herself because she felt she couldn't do anything.
Yeah, that she'd failed you in some way.
Yeah, and she felt she lost control and made her feel guilty, but like it was me the whole time. It wasn't her fault. It's like not the parents' fault, but like I think we just need to come across it in different ways and try not to get frustrated, because then that just makes everything worse.
Do you think you would come out of this yourself without mum saying, right, we're taking you to the doctor here now?
No, never.
No. So sometimes that forced love would have helped.
It can help a lot.
So what would you also then offer as advice? So say there's a young man, your own age, a young girl, that someone, which this is different, you see, for your age generation too, because we have a lot of technology.
Yeah.
And it's easier to communicate with people. And people do not realise the impact that their words have on other people. Yeah. So someone is perhaps listening to this today, someone's been calling them names and they've taken that personally. What could you offer them, James, that things can change for them?
Just don't think about it, because a lot of people my age are too caught up in thinking about other people, about what they're thinking about them, than how they feel in themselves. So they're taking their thoughts and just making it their own, thinking what they've just said to you and ruining your confidence. But like you just have to you have to think about yourself, not other people. Yeah.
And that, sometimes what we see perhaps as if we have friends, your real friends will be there with you. And it's that belief that we have in ourselves.
Yeah.
So, do you have any positive affirmations that James McCormick stands and says to himself of a morning in the mirror?
It sounds so big headed, but I'm just
No, it
like,
does not. Let it rip. What do you say, James?
I'm like very confident and I don't want to come off as cocky, but I just sometimes look at
I
myself and
love
go,
it.
I'm
Tell me.
like great. Like, I don't know why. I just like look at myself and go, I'm great.
Yes, indeed. I love
Yeah.
it. Say it again.
I'm great.
I am great. Muhammad Ali said that.
Mhm.
I was the greatest even before I knew it.
Yeah.
The affirmation that he had. I was the greatest. I think it was that before I even knew. I knew I was before it was even confirmed to him.
Yeah.
But that's the power of our words. Words can build you up or words can break you down. And it's the strength that you have in yourself, in your mindset. And it is difficult to learn this at a younger age. And by the way, James, there's many a person in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s and 70s are still living their lives concerned about what other people think about them. So it's wonderful, as hard as the lesson was to learn at this age. And the teenage years, I doubt very much that anybody would want to go back and relive them because they're not the most pleasant.
No.
And your body's changing,
Yeah.
you know, and you're discovering like, what is happening to me. Yeah, and it's just the relation, the parent-child relationship. You have a wonderful relationship with your mother. She tries to stay as positive as possible for you, James. So tell me some of the wonderful things that mother has offered to you in a way of advice.
I'm not too sure when it's put like that. She does say things, but I can't even think off the top of my head that like just help. But she's always told me not to think about what other people think and be confident in myself, because she always says that's her number one regret growing up.
Yeah.
Not being confident in herself and doing what I want to do and not thinking about what other people think about it. So that's definitely helped. And especially because it was more just me, her, and my sister. It was like I looked up to her.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And that's the painful thing for parents too, which I have noted, that if they have done something in their past or failed what they see it in their life, they don't want their child to experience it. And somehow if their child seems to experience the same experience they did, they feel guilty. I've passed this on.
Yeah.
If I had been more confident and shown my child confidence, he wouldn't have to go through this. But we all have to learn on our own journey.
Yeah.
So there you go. Look at yourself in the mirror in the morning and say, I am great.
I'm great.
In that accent too.
Yeah. I know.
That's a great way. I always say that's the best conversation, is the person you're looking in at and is looking out at you first thing in the morning. James, I'm going to take us on another wee stage. So apart from your GCSE examinations that's happening at the moment, you also were taken for, I suppose, assessment for Asperger's.
Yeah.
Is that pronounced?
I think so.
And you had stated that I didn't want to go back for a final exam because it doesn't matter to me whether I am or not, but I don't want a label put on me.
Yeah.
And then that's what it is, isn't it? People go about with a label attached to them.
Yeah. It's like I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to be known as that. I didn't want to be, because that's not who I am. Just because I was diagnosed with something doesn't reflect who I am and what like I'm meant to do and all.
Well,
I'm
if I was
capable
to
of.
stick labels on you now, what labels would you want me to put on you?
Great.
Great. What else would I stick on you? Famous?
Famous, yeah.
Famous. Great. Famous. What else?
Put me under pressure now.
Would you say handsome?
Handsome, yeah.
Lovable?
Yeah.
Well, I'll stick all them labels on you all day long, James. And now to school. The lovely education. Now, for people, the education system works. For other people, it does not work.
Yeah.
And I've experienced it both sides with my daughter and my sons. It worked for one, it didn't. And I removed two of them from the system. But you are setting these exams now, and how are you finding that for yourself, absorbing all this information to receive perhaps a certification that you passed an exam?
I hate it. I don't like. I'm just like, obviously knowing like skill, but I feel like I'm not meant for it.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm always behind, and when I'm sitting in school, like 1 minute I'll know what they're talking about, and the next it just like doesn't go into my head when I try to revise it. and then I get a low score, and then it just like I beat myself up about it.
But again, do you see this is a thing now? We see the correlation with this? Somebody calling you chubby, you believe that to be true. You get a low mark in an exam, do you believe you're a failure?
Yeah, I just don't think I'm smart.
Okay, so how do we change that about? Where this is what I find is a problem as well, that that people have to receive A stars, B, C's. In order for society to say, oh, they're smart, they're intelligent, they're successful, how can you change that about, James, for you at this point, regardless if you get an F or an A? Are you still going to be the same James McCormick?
Yeah.
You're going to still be the same boy. Are you still going to be the guy that is going to go on and be famous?
Yes.
Does it matter how many qualifications you have?
No.
How can you enjoy the journey then now? How can you make whatever length of time is left in school for you more enjoyable?
I think not putting much pressure on myself, because that seems to be in my head constantly about exams, tests, homeworks. I feel like I'm just not like living my teenage years that I should be, because it's so much pressure from school, from everything. I honestly feel like it's too young to be doing exams that literally determine
asking
the
you what do you
future.
want to do.
Yeah, it's too much.
I say there's people in their 50s and 60s
Yeah.
still don't know what they want to do.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. And look, there's always this thing, if maybe in my 20s, if I feel like I want to go back and do education or qualification, I can do that then.
Yeah.
It's always an option that's open to you.
Yeah.
So, but it's how you protect yourself and your mind going through this journey, because you've had that phase in your past where you do not want to go down that mindset avenue again of feeling that you're not good enough.
Yeah.
And nor should your examination results reflect that on you either, James, that you're not good enough. So, will you believe you're good enough whether you get your A or your F?
Yes.
Still good enough?
Yeah.
More than good enough. What are you, James?
Great.
You are great. So anyway, let's get on to the future. I love a bit of manifesting. Are you into manifesting, James?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I have a vision board.
You have a vision board?
Yeah.
And what is on this vision board?
It's like, also sounds big-headed again, but
do not apologise. I love when people get imagination, so don't apologise for that as well.
It's like literally photos of cameras just like flashing, and it's
paparazzi. Well, I really hope for the good reason. It's not that you've done away with your mother. And
hope not. God. Knowing me, that would probably happen as well.
James, don't even don't put that. Universe, we're taking that one back.
And like that we sang as well, the wee
clapperboard.
And
by the way, when you're leaving here today, that's your gift. We have that arranged to give you the clapperboard. Yep, we said we're going to Jim, this doing all the editing and filming here. He's had that clapperboard for 15 years.
I was just sitting watching it, trying not to put my eye on it.
Yeah. So I said to Jim, you know, the perfect person that we need to give that clapperboard to is James when he comes tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
So that's your gift to lights, camera, action. So tell me, what is it that you have to offer the world then, James? How are you going to make a difference in the world?
That's where it gets me. I don't know what I'm going to be famous for, but...
Are you an actor?
I would like to be in movies.
Yes.
It's always been my dream.
Well, it's all possible. It is all possible. So you're going to act in a movie. Do you think you live in this country or abroad?
No.
Not here?
I cannot wait to leave here.
Is that right?
Yeah. I hate it.
Oh, James.
It's just not for me, well.
Well, maybe just a different part of here.
Maybe.
There's good people everywhere in the world, and there's not so good people everywhere in the world too. So I do say this to people that, you know, it's never the when then scenario. When I get famous, then I'll be happy. When people like me, then I'll be better. If you cannot find it now, you're not going to find it in the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah.
So you know, always if people find the feeling. So what is the feeling that you believe that it'll all bring you?
Complete.
You'll feel complete.
Yeah.
So what's incomplete about you at the moment?
Not being known by everyone. I don't know why. I just feel like that was what I was put here to be ever since I was little.
Yes.
I've always felt like that.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel different, because everyone's like, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a vet, all that. And I was like,
That's
I
not
want
for
to be.
you.
I just want to be known by everyone for the
Okay.
good reasons,
For the
obviously.
good reasons, for making a difference, for making a
Yeah.
change. Well, maybe this podcast is a start for
Yeah.
you. You've got to
No, I
experience a
feel
wee bit
famous
of
right now.
the lights and the
Yeah.
camera and all the sound and
Mhm.
behind the scenes. But yeah, I'm delighted that I've got to speak to you. I'm delighted that you're confident. I'm delighted that you have courage,
Yeah.
because it's not the easiest thing to sit across and not know what questions are coming your
Yeah.
way. And also, you'll get a chance, an opportunity to listen back and watch back on this and see, there's the man. There's a guy there that people had called chubby. There's a guy
Mhm.
there. But not out of any other way of spitefulness. But see, you can do things when you set your mind to it, and
Yeah.
wonderful opportunities present themselves in order for you to make a difference.
Yeah.
So, let me see. On our final and closing words, what would James McCormick like to be known as and like to leave us with here today?
I'm under pressure again.
Put it out there then. So let's put it out to any drama societies, movie producers, anything like that. Who would you like to speak to today, James? If everybody knew you in the world, say everybody knows you in the world now, what message would you like to give them?
Put me on Vogue.
Put you on Vogue. Front cover?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Have you got a pose, a strike a pose?
Not yet, but
Fabulous.
I'll find it.
Well, there you go. What would the headline be?
The King. The King.
The King.
Yeah.
McCormick. The King. Fabulous.
I want to be the new Brad Pitt.
The new what?
Brad Pitt.
New Brad Pitt. Well, there you go. You just never know.
Yeah.
Brad's getting old.
Mhm.
James, thank you so much for your
Thank
time
you.
today. I hope that whoever gets to listen to this, that if you are going through any inner trauma or what people have said,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you've learned from this, James, too, that you have to be mindful of your words, what you say to others, because we never know. Sometimes people say things in a jokingly manner, but someone else takes it to heart.
Yeah.
And maybe them guys that said you're chubby thought, sure, we're only joking. We didn't mean it to go that far.
Yeah. They
You
probably forgot about it that day, but it like lived on with me.
I know. And I think if people saw the tail end of their comments or remarks,
Yeah.
they would think twice about doing it. I always believe there's goodness in everyone.
Yeah.
But it's the belief that we have about ourselves and in ourselves. And thankfully, as you're saying, my two boys, they're 18 and 21,
Yeah.
and they're away out. I've always said, be happy. Be happy. And I'm always proud of them, no matter what they want to do, but as long as they're happy. And if they want to be famous or not famous or drive tractors, that's their dream.
Yeah.
So do James. Well, that's short.
I know.
To go out and to live your dream, to make a difference to the world, to bring your talents and gifts out there. And perhaps, the journey that you have come through will be part of your story in making a difference to people's lives. So, James McCormick, thank you so much.
Thank you.